Hey guys, After here, welcome back. Today I want to go over the top 3 indie games of 2013. Very interesting. A little late, but hey, late's better than never, right? Alright, number 3, Don't Starve. This is an adventure survival game by Clean Entertainment, currently on Steam for $14.99. This game was completely and utterly an addiction I had for a couple months back in the summer. It's honestly just an awesome game. The whole premise of it is obviously, like the title implies, you don't want to starve. So it's a single player game. You're thrust into this huge open world sandbox environment, and you just have to survive. Now you have to survive by crafting, you have to survive by hunting, gathering, farming, whatever you like, you can survive. The world is your oyster in this one. It's very sweet. There's just so many different things you can craft. There's so many different things you can do with the crafting that you can do. So many different ways you can approach it. Tons of achievements to be had. Also, there is permadeath. So once you die, you kind of get an X amount of XP depending on how long you lasted, and that'll unlock new characters that you can go ahead and try again with, which just completely increases the playability tenfold. You will spend, if you purchase this game, if you haven't already, you will spend hours upon hours upon hours playing this game. It's just that fun. It's just that addicting. A lot of the characters have very subtle but very game-changing, unique characteristics. For instance, the main character has a beard, which lets you stay warmer in the winter, which you might say, that's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal. Once you start hitting like the mid 20-day mark, you're going to start to get cold, and it's going to start to get real quick. You also have like a strongman who needs more food to stay full, but he's obviously stronger. You have a fire starter who can start fires easier, and then you have like a lot of different characters that have a lot of different sort of little abilities that completely change your gameplay through. You might think, oh, having a beard and just so I'm warmer in the winter doesn't seem like a big deal, but it ends up completely changing your game style and your playthrough, because you'll do that the first time around, you'll be like, oh, my beard, and you'll kind of use that as a crutch. And then if your second playthrough you decide to use somebody else, maybe the strongman, he doesn't have that benefit, and then you have to work around that going. So it's pretty sweet. One of the awesome things I like doing about it is you can catch birds, and then you can create a bird cage for birds, and then you can feed the birds seeds, and then they'll poop out seeds, and you can plant those seeds for specific fruit. I mean, it's just a really in-depth game, and there's just so much time. $14.99, you cannot go wrong. You're gonna get well more than your money's worth at $14.99, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Don't starve. Number 2, this game completely took me by surprise. This game is, I honestly, this is probably one of my favorite games of 2013. Maybe one of my favorite games of all time. I had so much fun playing this game, and this game is Hammerwatch. Looks can be deceiving. At first glance, you're like, this looks like a little old school kind of poor graphic game. It's a normal little typical dungeon crawler. Well, let me tell you, Hammerwatch is the game for you. It's an action adventure RPG by Crackshell, currently $9.99 on Steam, and it is freaking awesome. Now, I will tell you this: this game needs to be played with you and your friends. Now, when I say needs, I don't mean you can play it by yourself, and you'll probably have a decent amount of fun playing by yourself, but the fun level playing it with your friends goes up like 1,000 times. I shit you not, okay? Usually you say, yeah, well, whenever I play games with my friends, I'm automatically going to have more fun. This is true. But Hammerwatch is, if you get you and 3 friends in a freaking, nice little Skype session, you guys will not want to stop playing this. It's got several different acts for you. I think it took me and my buddies the first time we played it through about 12 hours just to get through the first playthrough, and man, it's addicting. It's just your normal dungeon crawler where you're going through. You just got to kill monsters, and they get increasingly difficult. You've got to do some puzzles in there. You've got to do some kind of like random ass, kind of find some secrets. And as you go through, you end up getting gold. Now, you have 4 classes that you can pick, and now you can all be the same class if you want. I think you should. There's a lot of synergy if you pick different classes, but again, you can all be the same if you want. You've got the paladin, a mage, a warlock, and then of course you have a ranger. Okay. Now, as you get the gold, as you go through the game, you're able to find vendors, which could be part of those secrets or could be part of those puzzles, and you can upgrade whether it might be your weapons, might be your armor, or it could be some abilities you have. So each class has its own auto attack as well as its own few different abilities, as well as its own mana pool. Oh, I'm sorry, mana pool. Right. Health pool, mana pool. Very unique, very awesome game. You wouldn't expect it just looking at the screenshots that it has on Steam, but I highly suggest you check it out. It is really a great, great game. Just the amount of replayability, not only with your friends but yourself, all of different, the 4 different classes, and then you can build them different ways with those, different abilities, and being able to upgrade this or upgrade that. It's pretty sweet. Also, it's got a big kind of twist sort of thing at the end there, which I won't spoil for you. But basically, you're gonna play the entire game, probably 12 hours, and it's probably gonna be in 1 or 2 days because you're gonna love it so much. And then, oh, such a big, nice little spoiler happens at the end. So, um, I won't tell you what it is, but it's gonna make you want to play through at least 2 times. One quick note about Hammerwatch as well is in the options menu, it gives you all these different abilities to either make the game easier or more challenging for yourself. So you can end up, having all the players share the same health pool, or all the players have 1 HP. So there is an endless amount of challenge there, and there's an endless amount of replayability. For 9.99, just like Don't Starve, you guys are going to get much, much, much more than 9.99 worth for this game. Definitely check it out. Hammerwatch. You will not be disappointed. And number 1, my top indie game of 2013. Spent countless hours on this game. It is the action RPG by Hobo Games, Risk of Rain. This game, just like Hammerwatch, you look at it on Steam, you're like, what is this game? It's 9.99. It looks kind of silly. It looks kind of cartoonish. It's extremely pixelated, extremely cartoonish. Doesn't really display in a good resolution. But oh my God, is this game addicting? This game is crazy fun, crazy addicting. Unlike Hammerwatch, you will have a shit ton of fun by yourself, or you will have double the fun with friends. Man, this is, you can go single, you can go friends at this game. This game is the game to have by far as far as any games in 2013. Um, it's a basic, just it's really just a freaking side scroller action RPG. You have all these different classes that you can get. You can always start with one to begin with, the commando. There's a bunch of different unlocks and achievements you're gonna get by playing the game. As you unlock them, you can start to unlock some new characters, and now these classes are completely different. So a commando, each class has 4 abilities. The commando has its own 4 abilities, and like an engineer, for example, is another class, will have another 4 abilities, and they completely change the playstyle of the entire game. The entire game. The entire game itself, though, has its own unique traits to it. First of all, there's permadeath, which is awesome. I love permadeath games. Second of all, what you have is you try to collect money as you go through the levels and buy power ups. Now these power ups are random, based on they'll randomly spawn or you can buy them, but you can't ever guarantee which power ups you'll get. So you kind of have to pick them up at random. But how you build them or how you choose when you do have the option to choose, you can kind of build. So you can kind of build that engineer different than you would build that commando or that sniper, which is awesome. Also, with all the different heroes or champions that you can pick, there's a lot of ability to have synergy if you are playing with your friends. For instance, a sniper has a lot of hard hitting abilities. Not the easiest to play by yourself, but with friends, it's a hoot. Yes, a hoot. I said hoot. Oh man, it's such a great game. It's also unique in the fact that as you progress through the game, each level, it doesn't really increase in difficulty. How it increases in difficulty is by the amount of time you spend playing it. So you can spend a lot of time in one level collecting money and trying to collect all the power-ups in that level, but as time progresses, the difficulty gets progressively harder to the point where if you take too long, you'll get to the final level and it'll just be freaking impossible to play. I mean, flat out impossible. So you have to be able to kind of weigh, how many items you want to get in per level and how long you want to actually spend in that level. But man, is that a great game. The graphics become, I wouldn't say addicting, but they don't bother me at all. I kind of like it. It feels nice. You feel like a sense of like almost like you're just in this surreal place. It's kind of like a sci-fi type game, which you don't see a lot of. So that's sweet. The music is just awesome. At the end of this video, I will link all the videos, all my videos of all these reviews or first looks that I did, and I'll let you hear some of the music of Risk of Rain at the end as well. But it is just a beautifully crafted game, and like all the others, for $9.99, you are going to get so much more value than that. I mean, these games put, in my opinion, AAA games to shame. I'll get more enjoyment out of any of these games than I will get out of a Call of Duty or out of an Assassin's Creed because it's just super fun. Most of them I can play with my friends. They're extremely cheap compared to those AAA games, and they have just replayability in spades. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, if you guys want any more information on any of these games, go ahead and check out my videos. Otherwise, like always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.